All right, let's get into this. Today, we're going to break down this incredible story from a Proxmox user. So picture this. They take their high-end gaming rig, turn it into a VM, and bam, the performance just completely tanks. This whole thing is just a fantastic lesson in debugging and, honestly, the power of community knowledge. So just look at this, right? On one side, you've got the dream. You're playing Cyberpunk 2077, everything's on ultra, and you're getting a beautiful, smooth 60 frames per second. Then you've got the reality. Inside the VM, it's a total nightmare. I mean, an unplayable, stuttering mess at just 8 FPS. How does that even happen? Let's start digging. The project itself was super ambitious and honestly, really cool. The whole idea was to take a beast of a gaming PC and virtualize it with Proxmox, but, and this is the key part, without sacrificing any of that awesome gaming performance. The stakes were pretty high, right? Go big or go home. And let me tell you, the hardware was no joke. We're talking about a serious Xeon processor, a massive 64 gigs of ECC RAM, that good server-grade stuff, and the crown jewel, an NVIDIA 3080 getting passed straight through to the VM. They migrated their old Windows 10 install over, and you'd expect this thing to just scream, right? On paper, this setup should have been an absolute monster. But it wasn't. Instead, they hit this really bizarre wall. In-game performance was just awful. But when they looked at the diagnostics, the numbers didn't add up at all. So it was time to put on the detective hat and figure out what was going on. Okay, this chart right here, this is the smoking gun. Think about it. In a heavy-duty game like Cyberpunk, your GPU should be screaming for mercy, right? It should be pinned near 100%. But instead, the CPU is completely maxed out, and that powerful 3080 is just kind of chilling at 20%. That is completely backward. It's a huge red flag telling us the problem isn't where you think it is.
And you might be thinking, oh, it's probably a simple setup mistake. But nope. This user did their homework. They had the right Virtuo drivers installed. GPU pass-through was working just fine. The Windows desktop itself was perfectly smooth. The problem only showed up the second you tried to launch a game.
So they tried everything. Changing core counts, messing with every single CPU flag they could find. Nothing worked. And then, when all hope seemed lost, the actual answer came from the community, and it was a total curveball. So, after all that, what do you think it was? What was the one, simple, easily overlooked setting that was bringing this powerhouse of a system to its knees? And here it is, the big aha moment. The user realized that the Windows install they migrated, it wasn't a fresh install. It had been used to host other VMs before, so Windows was still trying to be a hypervisor inside of the Proxmox VM. Mind-blowing, right? This is a textbook case of something called nested virtualization. It's literally a VM inside a VM. Proxmox is running the Windows VM, but then Windows is also trying to run its own virtualization layer on top of that. It's like putting a hat on a hat. It creates this insane performance overhead that just grinds the whole system to a halt. And you know what the craziest part is? The fix was ridiculously simple. All they had to do was pop open PowerShell with admin rights right inside the Windows VM and run one single command to turn all that Windows virtualization stuff off. And boom, the change was instant. Performance in Cyberpunk just rocketed from that awful 8 FPS all the way back up to a beautiful 60 FPS. So the main problem was solved, but the story isn't quite over yet. Okay. Getting back to 60 FPS was a massive win, for sure. But the user noticed it still wasn't quite as smooth as it used to be on bare metal. So the mission changed. It wasn't about fixing something broken anymore, it was about fine-tuning, about squeezing out every last drop of performance. They figured they were still losing maybe 30% of their performance compared to the old setup. It was totally playable now, but that feeling there's still power left on the table? And once again, the community stepped up with some serious pro-level tips. Okay, this piece of advice is pure gold. For older CPUs like this specific Xeon, setting the CPU Type 2 host in Proxmox is actually a bad idea. And here's why. It forces on a bunch of security mitigations that the host is already handling. It's redundant and it just kills performance. The right setting is x86-64v3 because it matches the CPU's actual capabilities without all that extra overhead. A huge performance gain right there. Then the real pros started chiming in with even more advanced stuff.
We're talking about things like CPU affinity, where you literally lock the VM to specific CPU cores to make it run faster. And interrupt masking, which is all about making sure the GPU is talking to the right cores as efficiently as possible. This is the nitty-gritty stuff that helps you claw back that last bit of performance and slash latency. So, what's the big takeaway from this whole wild ride? Let's boil this entire experience down into a practical playbook that anyone using Proxmox can use.
All right, here's your cheat sheet. Number 1, if you're migrating an old OS, always check for nested virtualization. It will bite you. Number 2, the host CPU type isn't a magic bullet, especially with older chips. Know your hardware. 3, don't just settle for fixed. Go hunt for that last 10 or 20% of performance. 4, that 100% CPU, low GPU combo, that's your alarm bell. Something is very wrong. And finally, and maybe most importantly, ask for help. The community is an amazing resource.
You know, this whole massive headache came down to one single setting that, looking back, feels so obvious. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? So I'll leave you with this question. What's the one obvious thing you've missed in one of your projects that turned out to be the key to solving some huge, frustrating mystery? It's funny how often the biggest problems have the simplest answers.